If you have ever tried my crab curry, I urge you to try my prawn and crab curry. Hi everyone and welcome to Perima's Kitchen. I am Selena. Let's go. So first things first, we're going to dry fry our methi seeds. This is going to enhance the flavor of your seeds. This was a level teaspoon of methi. It's going to bring that sourness that we want together with the tamarind water. Next, we're going to add a generous amount of oil. Remember, we're going to first fry our crab. You can add more oil when you are frying your onions. Add a heaped teaspoon of mustard seeds. Wait for your oil to first heat up before adding your mustard seeds. You need those mustard seeds to pop to release those flavors. Next, add 2 teaspoons of ginger and garlic. Give it a quick mix and then add your crab. Today I'm using approximately 1.5 kgs of crab. Remember to ask your fishmonger to slightly bash your crab, and then you can wash it properly to remove any small shells, and this will allow all those flavors to seep into the crab itself. We're going to fry it for approximately 10 minutes until it changes to the beautiful pink color. Frying your crab for about 10 to 15 minutes helps to soften the shells. While my crab is frying, I am going to prepare the chutney. You can use approximately 6 to 8 tomatoes. I'm going to liquidize it with 2 green chilies and a stem of curry leaves. Here's my husband trying to help me out. He's looking forward to this prawn and crab curry. We are celebrating our 17th year anniversary. So we did go out for dinner, but nothing beats a home-cooked meal. No matter what you do with your prawn curry or your crab curry, that base is so important. So make sure you spend time on this. All my tomatoes couldn't fit, so I will liquidize the rest separately. The crab has been frying for about 10 to 15 minutes. They've turned a beautiful corally, peachy, pinky color. I'm now going to remove everything. And then make sure you have some diced onions, some green chilies, and some more curry leaves to fry. We're going to use the same pot. So here's all the crab. We're going to let it rest on the side. Here's the rest of my tomato, all liquidized and ready to go. It looks so beautiful already. Okay, so you can add more oil if you want. Then proceed to add your diced onions. My husband cut them up in circles. You can do it however you prefer. I added about 4 chilies and some curry leaves. So you can add more chili if you like. Next, a little bit more of ginger and garlic, followed by some bay leaves and a cinnamon stick. And we want our onions to brown slightly before we add our spices. While that's happening, I'm taking about 2 heaped tablespoons of tamarind. So this is seedless tamarind, so I won't need as much as I do usually with the ones that have the seed in it. I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of boiling water, and you can use a fork to dissolve the tamarind. And once it cools down, you can use your fingers. If there's any excess tamarind left over, you can add more water. In total, you should have maybe 2 to 2.5 cups of tamarind water. And if you're using tamarind with the seeds, remember to remove all those seeds. The onions have browned nicely. I'm now ready to add my spices. Remember, all the ingredients and quantities used will be found in the drop-down description below. First, we're going to add our turmeric, and it's approximately 2 teaspoons of turmeric. So I didn't have my Nagia's everyday masala that I normally use. So this is all the combination of spices that I'm using today. Once you're done adding your turmeric, it's 2 teaspoons of jeera powder. That's our cumin. If you're going to use jeera seeds, I suggest you fry them in the beginning. 2 teaspoons of roasted dhania powder, half a teaspoon of soap, and a quarter teaspoon of elachi powder. That's our cardamom. Followed by 3 tablespoons of Kashmiri chili powder. Let your spices sizzle for a few seconds. Let all of those flavors be released. And you can keep your stove on a very low heat if that makes you more comfortable. Now I'm going to add all my liquidized tomatoes. The flavors are enhanced with the curry leaves and the chili. Next, sprinkle a teaspoon of sugar and mix. We want the tomato base to cook for approximately 10 minutes. Excuse this nasal voice. I had my leftovers this morning and this is how I recover. It was that good. I'm still sitting with a box of tissues. Right, so we're done mixing. Close that lid and let it simmer. While it's simmering, let's check on our tamarind water. At this point, it got cut off where I used my fingers, but you know the gist of it. Make sure it dissolves nicely, and you can use extra water, so you get approximately 2 to 2.5 cups of tamarind water. If you are using your fingers, make sure the water has cooled down before you start dissolving it with your fingers. I'm adding my tamarind water to the chutney. We're going to mix it and let it cook for another 10 minutes. The tamarind really is the X factor in your prawn and crab curry. You can't beat that deep, tangy, sour, flavorsome taste. After about 10 minutes, you will see the oil start to rise a bit and your base is now ready for the crab. And the prawns are all prepped and kept one side. I kept the shells on, I have removed the heads, but there's really no reason to fry the prawn before adding it to the chutney. Let's add all our crab. And remember, we're going to cook our crab for about 45 minutes. Get all that mustard seeds, methi seeds, whatever's left in that bowl. You don't want to waste any of that flavors. Next, we're going to add our salt to taste. And I'm adding approximately 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of salt. You rather go less. And you can always add some fine salt later on. Once you've added your salt, you want to make sure you mix everything in nicely. Those flavors are important. You want it to penetrate into the crab. So take some time out to mix your crab into that beautiful, delicious gravy. And you're going to let it cook for approximately 40 to 45 minutes. The last 10 minutes, you can add some cloves of garlic if you want. Remember to boil your rice now. And you can prep your prawns as well. Soak your dhania in some cold salty water. So everything is ready to go. It's been about 35 minutes so far. I'm adding a couple of cloves of garlic. And I'm going to mix it all in. I'll give it another 10 minutes until the garlic is pretty soft. And then I'm going to add my prawns. So I'm adding a touch more salt. This is fine salt. I've tasted the gravy now. And just a little bit more salt is needed. My prawns I prepared They've already been deveined, but I left the shells on. That's going to bring some more flavor to this curry. I'm now ready to add all of the prawns. It's approximately a kg of prawns. And the prawns itself doesn't need too much of time to cook. Once it starts to change color and curl up, it's pretty much ready. But truly the best thing about this dish is eating it the next day. The flavors are so intense the next day. So if you have guests, I suggest just cook it the day before. We're going to add some of our dhania, our coriander. And this is my other top tip. This is not for garnishing. This is going to cook with your prawns in your gravy. It's going to make that flavor of your gravy. It's just going to take it to the next level. Give it a nice mix again. And at this point, once adding the prawn, you can decide whether you need to add some boiling water. I'm going to add about half a cup of boiling water. That's because my gravy is quite thick at this moment. Mix once again, but gently. We don't want to break any of the prawns. And you can turn down your heat slightly. And it needs about 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to keep some fresh coriander aside, and that's just to garnish my curry at the end. You can also strain your rice now, so don't forget about that. And now that we're nearing the end, here's my final top tip. All you're going to need is a small pot. Add some oil. Once your oil is hot, you're then going to add some fresh curry leaves. Add the leaves, you can even add the stems. Let those curry leaves sizzle in that oil. It's all about the flavor. Once that's done, we're going to add some chili powder. I've turned down my heat, and it's 1 teaspoon of Kashmiri chili powder. Again, make sure your chili powder fries in that oil for a few seconds and then switch off. So this is not just going to enhance your flavor of the prawn and crab curry, but it's going to give your curry a beautiful, vibrant color. Be careful when you are adding it, because remember, you got your gravy, which is more or less some water, and then you're adding this hot oil on top. So you can turn it down if you want to, your heat, before you add your Kashmiri curry leaf oil, your chili oil. I've done this so many times, so I'm not too worried, but be careful when you're adding it. And you will definitely see a significant difference with the color. All my secrets are out. You can give it a few minutes to simmer, or mix it slightly, and then you're done. You're ready to add your fresh dhania. Remember, it's even better the next day. I had it for breakfast with a slice of butter bread. The flavor of the prawns is unreal. It's absolutely delicious. This is definitely a winner if you have guests over. The gravy, the gravy is over tops. I'm not sure why we haven't thought of this combination before, but it is so tasty. Make sure you suck on all of those juices. Those prawn shells are delicious. And there you go, my prawn and crab curry. This was ultimate satisfaction in a pot. All the shells, everything. You have to suck all that juices out. It's already hitting absolutely delicious. Even better the next day. I can't explain. Oh. So good. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed. Kindly hit that notification bell. Please like and share, and your comments are always very welcome. And remember, all the ingredients are in the drop-down description below. Sending you lots of love. I am Selena from Perima's Kitchen.